We have been blessed with ordinations to the priesthood here in the Diocese of Harrisburg over the last 10 years. And we have a relatively young presbyterate with a good number of our priests who are 15 years ordained or less. But right now, we have experienced a diminishment in the number of seminarians in formation for the priesthood. And we really have a critical need to actively promote vocations.
Well, I think it's really important to have a steady stream of priests because, first and foremost, access to the sacraments. The faithful need the sacraments. It's the primary way that we receive God's grace in order to really live out our call to follow Him with our whole hearts. And the more priests we have, the more access to the sacraments all of you, the faithful, have. And then second of all, it really just shows the vibrancy of faith that we have in our diocese. And we have men from all sorts of backgrounds, all sorts of parts of our diocese. It just shows the vibrancy of faith that we have across our diocese, and that we still have men who are willing to listen to God's call and to follow that call in their life.
We are blessed here in the Diocese of Harrisburg to have two very strong programs where we have young men in formation for the priesthood, St. Charles Borromeo Seminary and also Mount St. Mary's Seminary. Two of the strongest programs in the country, and they're relatively close, so we're blessed.
The seminary experience is absolutely essential for a man to be the priest that God has called him to be. For starters, I don't know any guy that's entered in there a finished product, so going to the seminary and really learning and being formed is essential. But something that a lot of people overlook and maybe don't understand, and I know this was true for me, was guys often don't enter seminary knowing that they're going to be a priest. They enter seminary knowing that God is calling them to discern or look into this life further, but they ultimately don't know if that's what God's calling them to do. That's why they're entering seminary, and being surrounded by so many amazing priests who are knowledgeable and holy helps form us and teach us and help us really to discover and to discern what God's will is for our life.
And we wouldn't want in that process for finances to be a barrier to a young man who might otherwise pursue seminary formation, be willing to enter the seminary and begin that intensive process of discernment and formation, which can take now anywhere from 7 to 9 years. The diocese really is dependent upon the support that comes to us through the Fishers of Men appeal to help that seminarian and make sure that he has the experience that's necessary for him to discern, but also to be formed into the priest that the Church of Harrisburg will need him to be.
To all of you who have been watching this video, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for your generosity to the Fishers of Men appeal. It is absolutely critical for our diocese and important for the young men who are discerning and preparing for the priesthood in our diocese. I also want to say thank you in my own name, because as a priest standing before you who has directly benefited from your generosity, I can honestly say that I would not be here without your prayerful support and your financial support.
Please consider once again making a contribution to this appeal to help us as a church to prepare our future leaders, our future priests who will be servant leaders after the heart of Jesus Christ.